The chapped lip crisis continues, but anyway, it is what it is. Let me just keep going. Thank you for joining me once again. Shimoge here. Thank you to my returning viewers. And the angle I'm recording at today, I have to stare myself in the face more than usual. So forgive me if I momentarily pause frequently and just am not happy. Because let me let you in on a secret. There are different types of people. Some people are supposed to be in love with themselves. Other people are not supposed to be in love with themselves. I'm the latter category. What does that mean? That means that when I'm most on, I don't like looking at myself. Now, that does not mean that I think there's something wrong with myself. There's not something wrong with myself. All that means is that, you know, it just, it's just not my sweetness to be looking at myself. And I'll leave it at that. And I'll use this analogy. The sun does not like looking at himself because his rays are so brilliant that they will blind his own eyes. And I'll leave it at that. You can fill it in. And I'm really gonna leave it at that. There are many more things I want to say. Um, but I have a mission today. Anyway, Cabrinum Nogoha. Welcome to my entire lineage. So, people must stop acting like cartoons are for children. People must stop acting like cartoons are for children. That's the topic today. For my returning viewers, I'll give you four, or for the new people rather, I'll give you four pieces of information. One, my government name is Chimoge Chijoke Ibe. Look it up. You'll learn more about me. Two, I publish music under the name Nkworie, Nkworie. I capitalize the N and the second O usually. One of the other networks under this media company, OZ Bangwok, was also called Nkworie. Check out the YouTube channel. That's where I publish the final form, or at least my most music-oriented content, as well as my most raw emotional content. I think that's another way to describe it. Three, I was born in Washington, D.C., the southeast part. And four, I am a Capricorn. I'm just saying it like that for speed. I like to say it a different way, but you know what I mean. Look that up, you'll learn things about me. I've registered viewers, thank you very much. Every view is a blessing. I also just saw the number 304. That number represents Oshun. Yes, it's a blessed number. Let's make a wish. May we all find our heart's desire. Thank you for all the comments as well. Every comment is a blessing. I read comments at my discretion. Ouch. Anyway, I also pray that everyone who's meant to grow a beard grows out a beard. Don't be hairless. Anyway, um, now on to the topic at hand, cartoons. You see, in the world today, people have this idea that reality is inherently bad. Let me move for a second. Forgive me, just talking to my ancestors. Um, so people have this idea that reality is inherently harsh and hard to handle. That's not true. It's just not. And I'll go even further. People have this idea that this world, because there's reality outside of this world, and that's a better way to say it. Let me revise it. People have this idea that this world is inherently bad. That's not true. And it filters into how we take care of children. People do not want to show children real life and instead choose to show them things they believe are fake. But there are two problems with this. One, there are limits to how bad this world can get. And I'll leave it at that. So fake scenarios can be worse than anything. Two, nothing is really 100% fake, as I've discussed many times before. If you can perceive an idea, it exists on some level. What does it mean to perceive something that doesn't exist? That's nonsense. So, if you see something that looks fake, either it's real in some other realm, and if you don't know the rules of that other existence, you're in trouble, or it's a conglomeration of many things, and that conglomeration can deceive you. Then let me add in ancestral knowledge. Another name for cartoon is ekwensu. Specifically, it's the final form of ekwensu. Really, the last form, the fifth form, karotazu. What does that mean? Basically, that term describes something that expands, annoys you in the worst way, and then disappears. You can also call it gluttony. But how I define gluttony is this: it's the phenomenon where the belly is full but one is not nourished. So you've been deceived into malnourishing yourself, and I'll put it like that to be pleasant. You see, that is what cartoons can do, because cartoon refers most specifically to karotazi. You think after you've watched that thing that you've filled yourself up with what reality should give you, but you're empty. And let me make it more practical. There are many cartoons which clearly are not for children. There's a lot of combat in there, the nature of which is very vile. There's a lot of other types of information in there that is only meant for adult eyes if it's meant for any eyes at all. But because of the culture we have today, a lot of these cartoons, and I really want to say it's not necessarily the fault of the creators, because a lot of creators are pretty clear. These are for adults. But a lot of cartoons get watched by children, and these children are victimized because then they see things that they're not meant to see. And let me walk. Let me just turn off my screen and walk. This is a new tactic. I can say some things as I walk, but I won't say too much. Don't worry, I'm still here. All right. Forgive me, the sun. Anyway, um, I don't want to name specific cartoons at this moment because I don't want them to get unfairly targeted. I'm really talking about how people in society today think. Just use your common sense. First of all, if the characters are, well, let me say it like this. If the characters are engaged in combat, just say, okay, this is not for children. So if you're watching children, don't put the content on for them to watch. And then you yourself, do not disrespect the content when you watch it. Don't go into it as if there's not anything you can get out of it, but also don't go into it thinking that it will not potentially traumatize you. Respect what you're watching, and sometimes respecting what you're watching means don't watch it. I'm saying this because I will say, there's a particular show that is of a cartoon nature that I've watched clips of recently. I watched the first season, I haven't watched the rest. And my main problem with it is just too gory. But I'm trying to see what I can comment about in the future. But, it just occurred to me that I needed to address the child issue in regards to it, because it does fit within a genre that children have been, or really people have been programmed to think of as childish when it's really not. And I'll leave it at that. So just respect what you're watching. You know, a Quincy's not a proper thing, but it's still a thing. So just don't think it can't hurt you, because that is the most harmful thing in existence. Anyway, um, how much longer do I want to be here? Let's go to the 15-minute mark. See what else comes out of me. Really, if you're watching kids do two things, one, put on, um, you know, if you need to put on something, videos of real life that are obviously, a child friendly scenario and something without commentary, and I'll leave it at that. Two, get out some materials for them to play sports and do multiple things. Put out a soccer ball, a football. I mean, obviously, don't have them play tackle football now, but you can play the non tackle versions of that. You get your volleyball, some cones, whatever, and then let them do whatever they wish with it. And just leave it at that. And then just watch and make sure they don't injure themselves. And that's all. And don't dip into um tyrant parenting. And you should know what I mean. And I'll leave it at that anyway. Abu Mama Dioha. Abu Mama Dioha. Yeah. But anyway, just to say more, I have a lot of stories I want to tell. I'm thinking of how to tell them, both in terms of ease of telling them and also relevancy in the moment. But a lot of them, just because you obviously don't see them happening out in our reality today like that, at least in a way we can understand, I'll need to use cartoons to animate. So that's a longer term process, although I've been doing it. Check out my art. But I'm just thinking of how to do that without traumatizing my audience, because a lot of events, obviously, that you have to talk about are traumatic, but you can sanitize it at least so that people can get the main idea. And then, I'm debating where the edge is there, but, we'll see what happens. Let me give out a bonus piece of information. Let me give out a bonus piece of information. Eat lemon powder. Eat lemon powder. It's good for your well being. I just saw the number 5555. That's a big manifestation of 1111. Let's clap. Let me make five wishes. One, may we all grow. Two, may we all have healthy families. Three, may we all reach our heart's desires. I said that before. Let me say it again. Three, may we all reach our heart's desires. Four, may nature heal. And five, may we all improve technology. Let's make that expand forever. And again, just to repeat the tagline of this live, people need to stop acting like cartoons are for children. That is not the demarcation. Do not be lazy. Actually inspect what you're gonna watch, and especially inspect whatever you want to put on for children. And I'll leave it at that. Do not just go, oh, I saw a cartoon, I saw this character, my child can watch it. No. And I'll leave it at that. All right, 15-minute mark. Thank you very much. I'm gonna go get something. See you guys next time.